I'd like to begin by announcing some important developments in our war against the Chinese virus.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China. That's why.
COVID-19, otherwise known as the coronavirus. Oh my gosh.
Please remember to wash your hands often, stay home if you are sick, and practice good social separation of at least 6 feet when possible. Loitering inside or outside of the store is strictly prohibited. Thank you for choosing Walmart.
Time. Hey, it's Corona time right now.
Coronavirus. The number of cases soaring just today.
The virus is spreading rapidly.
We don't have what we need to fight.
It's a new threat that the next epidemic has a good chance of originating on a computer screen of a terrorist intent on using genetic engineering to create a synthetic version of the smallpox virus or a contagious and highly deadly strain of flu.
The American people have a right to peaceably assemble and petition the government.
All public and private gatherings of any size are prohibited.
Michigan's governor probably imposed the harshest rules.
Residents can no longer visit friends or relatives. Those who have more than one home banned from traveling between them.
No wonder people staged this protest against her rules.
They say it goes too far, takes away their rights, and in some cases is too arbitrary.
Arbitrary is how it looks. Big stores may stay open, but they must not sell certain things.
Big box stores will also have to close areas of the store that are dedicated to things like carpet or flooring, furniture, garden centers, plant nurseries, or paint.
But things like gardening and painting are activities that can be done far from other people. So is exercise. But watch out in California.
A paddleboarder is chased down by law enforcement for being out on the water at Malibu Beach.
This man was more than 6 feet from anyone, but police chased him down.
He cut him off!
And they punished him.
Yep, this paddleboarder was arrested.
In Encinitas, California, police gave $1,000 tickets to people watching the sunset. Yes, they were inside cars, not endangering anyone. That day, the police posted this video saying, "We go to work for you."
We're going to continue to be doing enforcement. We're dealing with the crisis at this point, and we want compliance from everybody because this is lives that we're trying to save.
But it's not clear that demanding total compliance is the best way to save lives.
As I started looking at this information, and as I started seeing that this is actually a chimeric version, something that was developed here in the United States in 2015, was published in Nature magazine, that it was developed in the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, where all the initial studies were done. The chimeric research, despite having a moratorium by the U.S. government to prevent any chimeric research. By the way, just so your audience understands, chimeric research basically means that they're taking a naturally occurring substance or virus, in this case, and then mutating it, genetically modifying it, changing the configuration morphologically to gain function. It's called a gain of function study or gain of function research. And that basically means that they're making something that already may have some potential to cause harm, making it more harmful, making it more virulent, making it more resistant. And basically that's what I found, that they took the SHC014 strain of the coronavirus, the surface antigen component, and brought in the backbone from the SARS coronavirus, put them together, and then inserted HIV and MERS orthologs on top of it to make a more virulent, more detrimental virus. Now, the thing is that
if I could jump in for just a moment here, because what I think you're talking about is the moratorium that was placed, and then $3.7 million from the National Institute of Health was transferred to China so they could continue this research, even though the moratorium. So they basically outsourced this research to China. Is this the same topic we're talking about here? This news is just breaking?
Yes, this is exactly right. So it goes back to 2014. The U.S. government decided, based upon certain virologists at that time, saying that, look, there's no justification for this kind of research. There's a potential for it to cause harm, cause a pandemic. So there's no justification for us to do this type of research. So the government passed a moratorium in 2014.
She told a crowd at Georgetown University that there would be a surprise outbreak during the Trump presidency.
There is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak.
Deborah Birx is a board member for the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis, and Malaria, which was founded by the Gates Foundation and known for millions of dollars of fraudulent misuse of funds. In October of 2019, Bill Gates sponsored Event 201, a simulation that estimated 65 million people killed by coronavirus. In November of 2019, the PureBright Institute, funded by Bill Gates, was granted European patent number EP3172319B1.
Absolutely, yes, the U.S. government knew. And in fact, when you and I brought this up on March 10th, a month ago, you're right, it was treated as tinfoil hat, conspiracy theory, nut jobbery. Well, it turns out there wasn't just one, there were two labs within miles of where this outbreak occurred that were studying coronaviruses from bats, and that there were internal State Department wires before this pandemic raising concerns about the security in those labs, and that an accidental virus could escape and cause a global pandemic. But I'll tell you, it's worse than that. And let me give you some breaking news right now, which is the U.S. government was funding the Chinese research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Your taxpayer dollars and my taxpayer dollars. And let me give you specifics that we just got today. Today, an inquiring of the National Institutes of Health, did any of your money go to the Wuhan Institute of Virology? The answer is yes. And here's what they told us in writing today. They said in fiscal year 2019, the funding for the Wuhan Institute for Virology was $76,000 and the $301. $76,301. Now, what did it go to? And I'm repeating what NIH has told me in writing it went to. It was part of an overall $3.7 million funding program that went to 6 years in sites in China, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Myanmar. And here's what they were studying. These are NIH's words. The project included studying viral diversity in animal, parentheses, bats, reservoirs, surveying people that live in high-risk communities for evidence of bat coronavirus infection, and conducting laboratory experiments to analyze and predict which newly discovered viruses pose the greatest threats to human health. That's what the NIH funding was going to, and we followed up and said, okay, that's what you described as the project in all of these countries. How about at the Wuhan Institute of Virology? What specifically did U.S. taxpayer dollars go to at the Wuhan Institute of Virology? Here's what the NIH said in writing. Said the project supported the following activities at the Wuhan Institute of Virology: coronavirus screening and serology of non-human samples, viral pathogenesis, serological testing, host receptor binding, spike S protein sequencing, and in vitro and in vivo virus characterization. And it goes on to say that they had not supported the creation of recombinant viruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
The anti-COVID-19 volunteer Corona Task Force. Please maintain a social distance of at least 6 feet.
I don't feel protected at all. I feel that my rights have been completely removed. My children's rights, the world that I am raising my children in has been completely changed.
This large gathering is also a public health violation. So at this point, I'm going to ask you all to disperse. If you do not disperse, you will be subject to a physical arrest.
Where's the Constitution?
If you do not leave, you will be arrested.
Constitution! Let's go! Let's go! Oh, get out! Get the off my leg! What are you doing? You have no right to stop me! You have no right to arrest me! What are you doing? For what? You're not even telling me why you're doing this! For what? For what? What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't want to get hurt. What are you helping, guys? What the f*** is she doing, guys? I'm just riding my scooter. What is she doing? What the f*** is this?
Brighton police are apparently arresting a dad for throwing a ball to his daughter in a park of about, 30, 40 acres. Apparently that is not allowed by Brighton.
She's like, Daddy, I don't want you to get arrested. And at this point I'm thinking, there's no way they're going to arrest me. There's no way. This is insane. So I'm telling her, I'm like, don't worry, Daddy's not going to get arrested. I've done nothing wrong. Don't worry about it. And then they arrested me. None of the officers had masks on. None of them had gloves on. And they're in my face, handcuffing me. They're touching me.
Sheriff's on the beach, but sheriff boat's coming now. Could this be the first arrest made for surfing? High-speed pursuit. High-speed pursuit. Uh-oh. Sheriff boat. Uh-oh, he's screwed. Now he's got this guy. This guy's coming in. Let's see the highway pursuit. Oh my God, look at this. He cut him off. Throw the tax down. Pop the tires.
I'm a good citizen. Ain't breaking no law. Ain't selling no drugs. I'm just preaching the word of God. And look at all these police cars here. This is America, private property of a church. Yes, sir. I got a letter from my lawyer too. You want to read my letter from my lawyer? Okay, I'm good.
Well, you get an order from the governor.
Yeah.
Your rights are suspended. Your rights are suspended.
No, our right don't come from authority. We're talking about the constitutional law, the first, Second Amendment, the U.S. Constitution that was given to us by our forefathers. Tate Reed can't take it away. Mayor Eric Simmons can't take it away, nor the police officer.
It can be suspended.
They can't.
You are in violation of the executive order, okay? You cannot gather and protest. We are in a state of emergency. You cannot gather and protest, okay?
What
all right. All right. Hey, listen. All right. I'm not answering questions. I'm here to tell you. As of right now, you're putting me in a situation where I got to make a move one way or the other, okay?
No.
All right, where we go?
These officers are just doing their job, and I'm just doing mine. God bless America!
Is that U.S. taxpayer dollars were going to the Chinese government to fund this research on bat coronaviruses, on how they could be infectious to humans, how they could be transmitted to humans, how they could be dangerous to humans, at the same time that the State Department was raising real concerns about the safety and security protocols at the lab that we're partially funding. And that, I got to say, that is nuts. And given that they were studying these bat coronaviruses, the Chinese government needs to answer the question right now. Were they studying the novel coronavirus, this virus, the virus that has killed over 140,000 people worldwide? Was that a virus that was studied at one or both of the Chinese government labs in Wuhan? They won't answer that question. They need to answer that question. And over 100,000 lives have been lost while they refuse to answer that. China.